Welcome back. Good afternoon again. We also welcome the online participants from NCR. We are moving to the afternoon session of the first day of FTP. We have Ms. Kavita Krishnakumar, Director, Sterya Academy with us now. I request our HOD, Dr. Kavita Nair, to felicitate ma'am with a memento and a bouquet. Please, ma'am.
Good afternoon, everyone. Join me in welcoming Kavita Krishnakumar to our FTP. Thank you. Thank you.
We now invite Ms. Kavita Krishnakumar, ma'am, to deliver a session on career communication and portfolio-based assessment. It is our pleasure to welcome ma'am, a passionate educator, storyteller, and theatre artist. Ms. Kavita has guided over 30,000 students in higher education and career development, trained and mentored educators across India through initiatives including the Hindu Step, Naan Mudalvan, the Government of Andhra Pradesh, the Department of Education Sri Lanka, and the Access Program. Ma'am has shared a few documents to us through the WhatsApp group, which she will use during the session in order to use it for her lecture. Please join me in extending a warm welcome to Ms. Kavita Krishnakumar. Please, ma'am.
Should we wait? Okay. Okay. So good afternoon, everyone. One of the most difficult things to do is to keep people engaged after lunch. And more often than not, I always get an afternoon session. So I will try my best to keep the entire discussion engaging, and I hope we learn from each other. So for me, coming back here is like coming home. I think I found my way pretty easy here. So okay, as that is getting ready, the topic that you would have seen that the topic assigned was career communication and portfolio-based assessment. Now, you may be doing some of this already. So I would like you to tell us, or, I would like you to say what you do when you teach career communication. You could name some activities that you would do when you teach career communication. Mock interviews, presentations. Okay, drafting resumes, group discussion, report writing, emails, role plays, debates, teleconferencing. Yes, resume writing. Notice writing, yes. Okay, so these are activities that we have traditionally been training our students with. Today we know that what worked, or the way people recruited in 2005 was very different from how people do it now. Right? So while there are these traditional ways in which we engage our students, there is a dire necessity for us as educators to also look at what the industry is looking at from this group of employable graduates that we create. More so, the challenge we have now is with the generation itself. How is the Gen Z? Challenging. How many of you here are Gen Z? Amongst the lecturers, how many of you are Gen Z? Okay. Okay. So this whole thing of Gen Z kind of a thing. Now, the expectations that Gen Z have are very different, or that is what we hear when we interact with people in the industry. More so now, we will get Gen Z, then the Gen Alpha, and then the Gen Beta. So for us to upgrade from what we were, our own versions in 2010 to now, is something we need to relook. So that is where I want us to start thinking about career communication as a whole, and to look at how portfolio-based management or assessments can be done. Would anyone like to share challenges that you've had with career communication or teaching career communication? How interested are students when it comes to doing something like that? Our classrooms are large, like a minimum number would be a 70 or an 80, right? Yes. Okay. Marks, yes. Link it to credits and marks, they will be happy to do it. Okay. Then. They've not understood the importance. Okay.
I had a different, I totally differ from them because when I was teaching them the language or the grammar, the interest was pretty low when compared to when I started with the career and all the things related to job. Because when they select the college on the basis of the placements. So their only criteria is placement and getting placed somewhere. And so when we start with career communication, or when we start with the job resume, how to draft a resume and how interview would be, then they are more interested and they want to know more about it. And when it is to deal with this mock interviews, they want to participate because they want this first-hand experience. So I found when we deal with career communication, they are more interested.
They are more interested. How is it with everybody else across? Because we have institutions across India. So how is it in other places? It may be different. Demographically, we are different. Expectations of students are different. So how is it in other places?
Without the mic, am I audible?
Okay. I have to move a little at the back. Okay. But they may not be able to hear. Okay. Oh, அதுதான் வந்துருச்சு. சரி, okay. Okay. Yeah, okay. So how is it with the others? Yes.
So they just what I found was to a great extent, it's only 120 there, 30% would be coming and job. Maybe most of the majority found it difficult to open them up. They found
Did they all come from English medium? English taught through Telugu medium? No, we have a lot of those schools here in Tamil Nadu. English taught through Tamil.
no, it's not like that. Study. So many, they are good in writing and all. But many a time when it is on presentation and all, they used to hear all that. Because first year they had English, then it's in their second year, there was no English. And in third year, they had English. So when
Okay.
presentation comes,
So that fear of facing the audience or facing, okay. Any other observations like that with students?
peer pressure is also there.
Peer pressure.
Yeah, when the friends say this, they will say no.
Or everybody nominates someone else.
Yes.
Right? Very, very common that we see. They nominate someone else. So then how do you do these tasks? Then there is, okay, every time? Okay. Okay, when it is marks, internal marks or a credit based, then there is motivation. See, a lot of times, I mean, I think there is enough debate on motivation to learn language or anxiety related to learning a particular language. Now, career expects something very different. Now, until certain point, when I started doing soft skill training, I always thought, oh, students should speak English, and they should be very conversant. They should be this and they should be that. Until I sat through my husband's call. Dey Lucy, என்னடா பண்ணிட்டு இருக்க? இங்க இருக்கு பாரு. The entire call was in Tamil and then sometimes in Hindi. Right? So then what are we preparing our students for? Why do we insist so much in English? When actually only when there is a client call there is English. All other times, they speak in a language that everybody is comfortable with. So what is that career communication we are teaching our students, or we need to teach our students? Now, this was a case about when when pandemic happened and when all of us were homebound. So until then, I thought everybody in a corporate world would speak in English, right? So I'm sure your students ask you this question. Is it okay if I don't speak English, or is it okay if I don't? Right?
During work days, they do.
They do. Okay. So now how do we teach them? So what is that career communication that we are teaching? Because all these activities that we talked about are, like have a task or have an expectation. But will that translate to career communication?
So we cannot figure one
Yes. Correction again, yes, we can definitely correct them. But again, take about a minute's time to think, okay, so when I say career communication, now when I learnt, what didn't I learn? When I came to the industry, what is it that I didn't know? I think if you start thinking like that, then things will change. A lot of times it is the perspective. As parents, we do that. As parents, we always tell ourselves what I didn't get as a child, my child should get. But as educators, if we start doing or addressing things that we had difficulty with, I think the whole, approach to career communication will change. So this is the thought I wanted to start with. Are we ready with this? Okay, I had a poll here, but I'm going to skip that. So are we preparing our students to create good documents, or are we preparing them for career? Because most of the activities that we discussed are either a report-based, or we want them to kind of achieve something tangible, or there is an end product kind of a thing. Now, what if we had to do something or help them achieve something that's intangible? We need to think like that, because career communication itself is like that. We wouldn't be able to teach all that they need to know, but at least those tips and tricks here and there that they need to navigate is something that we want them to know. So at this point, I want you to think of and write down 3 things that you wish you learned when you were a student, that you didn't get an opportunity to learn. Think about 3 things that you wish you knew.
Change it.
Slide change. It's okay. சார் பயம் மாட்ட முடியும் வருது சார் பரவாயில்ல விட்டுருங்க அது இல்லை இது எல்லாத்தையும் பரவாயில்ல ஓகே அது இல்லைன்னா பரவாயில்ல சார் Okay, so you have your 3 points. What was it? Do we have a mic that we can pass around?
Is it fine if you have a collar mic? Understand, sir, collar mic.
So we have another one that's
Yeah.
Yes.
I did not have any idea about a professional setting when I was in my college, and I did not know what a professional demeanor is. And therefore, my first interview was with the Jet Airways. I did apply for air hostess job, and I went to that particular interview in red kurta pajama and wearing jumki and all the jewelries, because nobody taught me what an interview is like. When I went there, when I saw people wearing Western outfits, like I was literally shocked. They were looking at me like I was some gawar from some village. And I was waiting there, and the person who called me for the interview, the first question he raised me after looking at me from top to bottom was, "Will you wear Western outfits?" My response typically was like this. I did not know. I'm from the rural side of Tamil Nadu. So I did this. Achuchu.
Okay.
So, so that, and he said, I will get back to you soon.
Okay.
So I wished I had some teacher who had taught me what professional setting is, or what professional demeanor is.
Okay. Any other? I'm sure all of you have those 3 things that you may want to share. I think there's somebody there. Please pass the mic around. Pass something from important. Someone wanted to ask. Yes. But just put your hands up. I think we'll reach the mic to you. Yes.
I wish I had been taught that learning skills were more important than gaining marks.
Okay. Okay. Learning skills more important than gaining marks. Okay. Yes. Okay. Sir, I think he was.
That's a good.
Certain values that we learn during younger days. I teach
without having proper reasoning. But over a period of time, when I started exploring by reading books or by interacting with people, I was able to have a lot of clarity, and there was a shift in my thinking also. Why did I think like that? So I feel like, if there are some people who could have given better clarity on the values that we hold, still my perspective on certain life things would have got better refined. That's my opinion.
Okay. Can you give us an example, ma'am?
Maybe a certain belief that I hold in my life.
Okay.
I did not have proper understanding for that. I was just blindly believing it because all the other members go on a same track. So I was into a kind of a system where I had to break the stereotype.
Okay. Today, we live in a world where gender and the roles of gender are very different. I come from an era where we still had to share. So there's somebody who wants.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, I think I'm audible, ma'am.
Yes.
Check. Am I audible?
Yes, you're on.
Okay. I just had this later realization probably. I wish I had learned the art of unlearning the negative things. So, yeah, and it took a lot of time for me to realize that, and now I think I've started doing it. Yeah, so that point of realization is what probably I thought like I should have earned some time before at the course of learning things.
When you reach 40, you will learn a lot more.
I don't want to be that old.
You actually understand that. Yes.
I was too late to realize that networking is not a part of a degree or a curriculum. It is something that we have to do on ourselves.
Yes.
So,
Very true. In fact, when I did CELTA, there also they didn't tell us that networking you have to do. They said if you finish CELTA, you'll get a job.
yes.
And all of us enrolled for that. And when we finish, what do we realize? You have to network and you will get a job if you do that. Yes.
That is all.
Yes.
I wish I had known that the concept of humility as we know it is totally different from how it is right now.
More different.
Yeah, I know. We see it changing every day. Because we train the students to sell themselves, as we call it. When they prepare the resume, you don't sell yourself to the highest bidder. Hype yourself up. It was never taught to us when we were young.
Yes, yes, yes. But you kind of, I think as Indian community, we're very, when you go outside, value what we do. It's so important for us to value what we do and understand. Okay, we'll go with one last person who could share. Okay, so one last person. But your voice na capture பண்ண மாட்டேங்குது. இப்போ பேசலாமா? Am I? Yeah, okay, now better. So, one last person who wants to share.
When I was pursuing my BA, I was a disciplined kid. Even now, I am a disciplined teacher. You can people who are with me might be knowing. So usually I would be sitting on the front row. Even in spite of that, teacher may not be able to hear my voice because I was not much confident. People who were sitting at the back, unaware of what the instruction going on in the class, would catch my word and they would come. They would say the answer. So now after becoming a teacher, I understand. So the service should be rendered to the people who really need of our support, like to build their confidence. So now I'm very much particular. If anybody is not confident, anybody is sitting in a corner, I'll go around in the class. If you monitor me, you can check. I'll be in rounds. So only to serve this, meet this.
So, not everything can be taught through career communication, but there are certain things that we do now that we didn't have privilege of. Simple things like, your resume writing or the fact that you can have an interview with somebody like a mock interview. All of these were not part of what was taught. I don't know, I recently attended a conference where there was huge debate about should educational institutions be looking at preparing students for placement, or should we be focusing on core, knowledge? So there is this debate now, because today knowledge is not only from that one lecturer or that lecture. Today knowledge has expanded, and how people learn is very different. And recruiters also value those additional certifications along with that degree. So when we have progressed to something like that, or we've transitioned to something like that, how important is it for us as a teaching community in a university to retain that position as somebody who can impart knowledge? So we have to think from this angle to be able to prepare our students for the future or to build a career. So that is why I said, are we preparing them for these end result, or are we going to prepare them for a brand identity? Now, in fact, this morning it was a long journey, so I was looking at different interviews and I happened to watch Archana Shekhar's interview. Archana Shekhar is the vice president of LinkedIn. And she says, earlier on, they used to have a column where you fill out your details. They had a column saying degree. They removed it because they realized that people without degrees also have a profession, or they have a roaring profession. So we have people moving towards, careers like that, or the entire world is opening up to something like that. So what do we do as educational institutions to retain students coming to us to learn, students valuing what we say? So we need to we're in a position where we need to make ourselves more relevant. Right? So that is where we stand. Okay. So now, always when it comes to employment, this is something we all look up at the National Skill Development Council's results on employability skills. It's dramatically risen. In 2010, when I started doing soft skill training, it was at some 25-30 people only were employable. Today, you see that there are more than 50% of graduates that are employable. So, have we actually improved? Or are these, what are these? Have we prepared them to take up that exam? A lot of times it is this. Have you learnt a skill or have you learnt the art of facing that exam? Right? So do these results really matter? Because often when you talk to recruiters, they come and say they speak English, but they don't communicate. Right? Earlier, at least 10 years ago, English and communication were always looked upon as related abilities, or were looked upon as something that went together. So when recruiters say that this person speaks good English, or his English is okay, or her English is okay, but they don't communicate, what do we really understand? So as professionals, as educators, how should we change our approach to making or helping them communicate? I have a few examples from people I have interacted with. Tell me what you understand from this, okay? Okay. So this was at a place where I asked a student to explain a system. This result you want to get now, you want to use AI. I'm sure you hear a lot of your students say this. English-wise, okay, the student manages, but what are they communicating? Box there, picture also there, inside information you want to understand means ask for to me. I usually take down notes from, when students speak, for me to understand how I can help them with the language. I'm sure you have a lot of students coming to you with wrongly learnt forms. Making them unlearn that must be a challenge, okay? Take about a minute now and maybe share with your partner the toughest challenge you have had in your setting with respect to English being there, not communication happening. So please take about 2 minutes to think about this question and share with a partner. Yes, ma'am.
They say, what I want to convey, you understood, madam. That's it. They don't. And this na, they say, ma'am, English is not our language, ma'am. That's why they speak Indianized English. The na, the letter, which
Indianized English is, there are multiple versions of it, just that you may not understand which version it is. Indianisms are again challenges we face.
That's why we have Englishes.
Englishes, world Englishes.
Yes, students are concerned, they are highly proficient. Yes, but in spite of that, when we call them to present on the stage in front of everyone, they are not coming. I allow since because they know very well, they don't want to learn anything. This is why we know already everything is. And one boy asked me, madam, everything is available in the chat. So why do you waste your time? More, yes.
This is a question I think a lot of students come up saying, this is all available. That's why I said,
But I know whether ChatGPT, which ChatGPT doesn't tell them, and that to be taught in the class.
exactly.
Always it has been challenging to set the stone rolling actually. Who will break the ice and initiate the process? Any speaking activity, which group will come first and to make
Yes. Any other discussions?
We do have this happening in our classrooms, but still, it's not possible to change them all of a sudden. What are we doing?
Should we change them at all? That's my question. We have to. Then how?
It's probably like I got a later realization. My students probably did not get that point of realization where they got to know that what they're doing is mistake. So bringing them to that point of realization that they are mistaken, it's probably the brainstorm that the teacher has.
To make them probably reflect and say, what do I say? How do I say it?
They often use bad words in their mother tongue.
Okay.
And sometimes they have written on the wall also.
Okay.
That you are not familiar. It might be written in Marathi, sometimes in Hindi. And they script like anything on the desk also that you cannot understand. They use the symbols. Very bad. But you cannot underestimate, they have skills.
Popular dialect சொல்லுவாங்கல்ல மேம் ஆபரேஷன் சக்சஸ் பேஷண்ட்
Patient failure. அதேதான்.
Patient
Operation success, patient failure.
Like even if we take an attempt to make them unlearn all of these mistakes, probably if I'm doing this, if I'm taking this to the first hour where I'll be engaging, as soon as I come out, there's another teacher who's a technical staff who goes there and does the same mistake in front of them. That's a serious.
Yeah, so as I'm just coming around, I'm hearing some very interesting discussions. How do you undo the can able to? Right? How do you undo the can able to? No, I'll tell you. Couldn't able to. Where right things, ma'am? So now, again, this again takes us back to this thing of speaks English but does not communicate. So now, as educators, we have to think: is their English and grammar more important than communication? So that is why I said, now think about what didn't you learn. Along the way, you learn something. Now, when we do teach our students, should we be so worried about that missing article and the missing something or the wrong adjective used to focusing on communication? I'm going to play the devil's advocate throughout, saying idva adva. Okay. Reason being, as educators, I think it's we've never done this before, or somehow we've stopped debating on things like this.
We constantly do whatever you're asking us to do.
Superb. I'm glad you do it, ma'am, because a lot of places, I don't want to generalize, places that I have been to, people stop thinking, or once the rigor starts, they get into the mundane tasks of syllabus completion, marks, internals, all of that. But what happens is this debate. So this is where the gap is. English versus communication and communication versus English. Again, going back to that example of how people actually talk in Tamil and Hindi and Telugu in meetings. So again, what are we preparing our students for? What is it that we should be doing? How do we help? We'll keep asking us these questions again and again because there is no one solution to this. And that one solution may not work in every batch that we apply and try. Okay, so let us keep our quest on English versus communication and communication versus English alive, so that when it comes to correcting English, we focus on that. When it comes to fixing communication, we focus on that. The unique advantage that teachers of English have is that we can play these multiple roles. We can be the communicators, we can be the coaches for communication, we can be the grammarians who will correct every bit of grammar. Where it is necessary, we do that. All of you must have received 2 documents on your WhatsApp. Okay, so there are 2 PDFs, one of Kavin and one of Amuda, right? So which one do you think will get a job? Amuda, everyone votes for Amuda. this is a very, very superficial and a very hypothetical, scenario that we're dealing with. Looking at the resume, yes, okay. Now, if you were to kind of select based on the profile, what would you do? To call them for an interview. Which one, who would you call? Everybody? Why would you call Amuda?
She has mentioned what the industry requires.
Okay, she has mentioned what? Okay. Okay. Elaborate, precise. But her CGPA is less than Kavin. Technical skills are mentioned. Okay, she has better writing skills. What if hers was AI generated? Okay, still presented well. This is a challenge that a lot of recruiters have raised, or one that now, because even LinkedIn allows you to kind of AI create your profiles, right? So then how do we go and recruit someone who probably is the best fit? Researchers show that recruiters spend not more than 7.4 seconds to identify profiles. That's precisely what all of you did. One quick look, Amuda. Right? So while writing that beautiful resume is important, is it achievable in one go? Yeah, unless it's AI generated. But you need to feed. Now, between these two, look at this and tell me which is a procedure you follow. Format 2, right? Format 2 where there is scope for reflection, where there is scope for feedback, and where there is scope for improvement. So this mind shift of how something is an end product to a process, right? This is exactly what we do when it comes to portfolio-based assessment. Include the first draft, include the comments, include the improvisations, and then the final product. Now, when we start doing this for every single activity, now this is only a projection of a resume writing. Now, if we were to apply this to every activity that we start doing, or every deliverable that we have in terms of what our course expects. So looking at it from this angle of how we look at it as a whole cycle and not just as one end product that we may want our students to create. Again, drawing inspirations from David Cobb's, one of my favorite, concepts in terms of teaching and learning, where we help the student to go back and reflect. A lot of times when we tell the student to rewrite it or say this is not okay, is the student able to identify where he or she has gone wrong? Right? So probably that is where we need to help. Because when it comes to career communication or improving career communication, students need to know the know-how of how to find out where they've gone wrong. Right? For which a reflection may be necessary. Don't give them answers. Go back, find out. So that is where, if you kind of saw this example of how the student has an opportunity to go and check the resume with somebody who is doing recruitment. Come back. Now they may also say, hey, the konja no improvise panna, better panna. Right? They may also say something like that. Now it is for the student to again reflect. So this is where the facilitator comes in, the role of the, the professor, the lecturer who comes in to say where is it that they need more focus. Don't give them the answer. Let them find it. If this has to be done well, You could create AI models for them to work on, compare, contrast, identify. These are things you may have to do. A practical learning of what is selected, what is not selected, make them the recruiter, make them think from the recruiter's point of view to say why they would select a particular profile. That will help them understand. So where you go from the end product or the end result to the teaching process. So where they kind of, they become the recruiters, and then when they look at profiles, what is it? So let them learn it like that. There is a possibility that it will help them. Again, today, times are changing dynamically. We'll have to keep adapting. What works in one class may not work. What works today may not work tomorrow. So that innovation as educators, we have to keep doing. Yes.
Just a question.
Yeah.
Should I use the mic? This is just in case I was doing this in my class, the scenario that you explained, Kavita. So I will say, give them without any sort of, give them a very sketchy format for a resume. I'm just thinking of it practically, how I would do it in class. So give them a very rough format of what is expected. Say your name, your email ID, whatever, and then your career objective or whatever, and then ask them to write in class. And then after that, because I will not be practically feasible for me to go through 65 drafts in a session and actually help them improve each one, then provide something like you did just now and say, which one would you select? And then if you selected the second one, then how does yours compare to the second one, and submit the second draft to me? Will that help? Yes. Do you think that should be okay? Because dealing with the numbers that we have.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that is why the comparison becomes more. So it may be difficult for you to look at all. You could also have them look at each other's work in groups. So there is a peer feedback that is taken. Maybe give them a checklist.
Ma'am, actually in SRM we have a thing called as PID, Placement Inside Dashboard. When you go into it, you'll be able to find out the resumes of already placed students. More than 400 to 500 resumes from different domains, different departments we can find. So what I did last time, when I was teaching resume writing to my students, I told them to download a few resumes of already placed students, made them sit in groups. Okay, so they analyzed each resume. They were first year students, but the students were actually third year and final year students. So that was like a kind of goal setting, like what am I going to do for this entire year? So that's why they started. Every time I tell my students, you cannot write your resume, you can only build it, construct it. So it is available in PID. In eVarsity, anybody can find it. Yeah, PID.
So there are many models that are available.
Not models, but that's resumes are already placed.
Correct. Yeah. That is what. So those are models as of now. So those are samples and models that your students could use. So where there is peer feedback, and then there is another round, and then there is maybe someone who putting it through an AI check to see what should I change in my resume? Because going forward, we need to teach our children how to use AI, how to engage with AI. Because you don't want them to kind of just take answers that come out of AI. So how do we help them? So these are all, components that you may want to add into your class. And again, keeping the size in mind, keeping the load in mind, and keeping how you will have to go through all of it. You probably look at, if it's possible for you to have them all uploaded on a document and then see where you can drop comments, that is also a choice that if your LMS allows that, maybe that is something you should think about doing. So again, going from not completing worksheets, but looking at real world problems. Now, when we give role plays, do we give them problem scenarios, or do we give them a conversation between? What is a challenge based? So where they have to see, a lot of times what happens is students that come to us, maybe from a Tamil medium or a native medium background, some of them from the Tanglish kind of schools. So initially you may have to give them that support of language for them to kind of find their way through. So see how you can model, include models of that as well as you do, as you kind of give them tasks like that. So giving them those models or giving them those scaffolding will help them speak. One of the things that, and I know, I'm sure a lot of you have this question about, they don't come forward to speak, right? They don't want to put themselves forward. Now let's go back 2 steps and think from a different point of view. Is it necessary for everyone to be a public speaker? It's not. So why are we making everybody come and make presentations? Why should somebody, if I'm going to work as, say, a developer, I don't have to talk to people at all. No, I think that people are comfortable. In a group discussion, they may talk, but if you ask them to come up in front, they may not. So should we actually have tasks like that? See, I'll tell you, a lot of these presentations that they make, technical presentations, is on Zoom, remote. People connect from different areas and still have presentations. Can we think of more practical ways, or how it is, can we actually replicate what happens in the authentic scenario? Connect with them on Zoom and have them make a presentation. See, ultimately, what do you want them to do? You want them to be able to explain that, and you want to be convinced that they have done it, they have done the work, or they know what it is, right? So, if it means that you skip tasks of where you ask them to come in front of the class and present, it's still okay. Because again, not everybody requires to be that public speaker. So designing tasks or designing, tasks that caters to, at school we start talking about how it is important to cater to different kinds of learners. We will apply the same here and see if this person does not really require that. We won't actually make them do it. Right, so designing these kind of tasks, that is why a lot, the curriculum that you're going to follow is very dynamic. So you can tweak it the way you want your students to develop. You can actually change it the way you want, what you want your students to learn. So think of different ways in which you will cater to different students itself. If they don't want to come, let me tell you, Gen Z is definitely very different from the other generations. When they don't want to do something, they mean it. They mean it. Don't want to do it. And there are increasingly, there are a lot of people that kind of demystify how to understand Gen Z, how to kind of work with Gen Z. There are a lot of books that, as educators, you should read to understand your students better.
By the time we complete learning that, we'll be meeting Gen Alpha.
Yes. No, you can never master one, ma'am. You can never master one. At least, you kind of find your way to doing it. A lot of times you see that you give a Gen Z a task, they'll be sitting there. For someone like me, he's not working on the task yet. You will finish it by 2, no? Yes, I'm on it. But they'll be playing something. But in their minds, they're actually working on it. So for me, it took me a little while to understand how they work. Give them the task, wait until 2 for the task to be delivered. Question them if they don't. But most often you will see they deliver it by 2. Right? And building that patience is what somebody like a digital immigrant like me should learn. They don't panic. Yeah. Yes, we panic.
When you said think about the things which you missed in video, I had this in mind.
Yes.
To say, no, I cannot do this.
Yeah.
Something is given to you. Just say straight on the face, no, to say no, I never learned that.
In fact, there's one of my friends who's a Gen Z. I'm identifying her as a Gen Z because of what she did. She joined a college. The college told her, you're in probation period. We will not pay you for the month of May. She said, I'm not coming in the month of May. The entire department roared. They said, what? What audacity? But she said, you're not anyway paying me, so I'm not coming in the month of May. I don't want to come. So then they had to go back and relook at the rules and say, should a probationer actually serve? They really had to do that. So you will have students, you may think they are rebelling, but they are being practical. Maybe that's another way of looking at it. So design a task that they would do rather than think of a task and fight with them for that task.
That is what happened in the initial, like when you raised this question of how do they deal with the activities. Somebody said, like, the first question is like, do we have marks for this? And they, right on your face, they ask you, does this come under assessment and does this have marks?
I'm not interested. Yes.
So that is the, we did not know that when we were students.
Everything is a learning. Come on, let's do this.
Yes.
I waited 3 hours. Oh, that's a learning. In 3 years, so many things I observed. I don't think Gen Z have that. Yes. They're not satisfied with the mark. Okay. No, I think that way, even if you give them a 10, they may say, 10 dana. And what about those extra marks for good handwriting? They may ask you that. So I think marks and we may have to kind of take them out of that mark, and linking everything to the marks may not be the only way forward.
You cannot link marks. You're not worried about the numbers actually. No, I cannot do. I don't want to do this.
In fact, okay, I was a student who left 10 marks because I had stage fear. I said, ma'am, 90 marks na edi mark vainkre. I don't want to do that. So at that time I was a rebel. The teacher was furious, but then I bunked because I didn't want to be part of that seminar. So there are students who will probably then learn it the hard way if they really have to get into a career. Today I'm a trainer. I have to do the talking all the time. So, you know, when they have to, but when it comes to tasks, I know it sounds very crazy, but then they say, today the education system is evolving in such a way that you curate it, adapt it to the student. Right? So when we talk about career communication and teaching career communication, we'll have to adapt it in such a way that it matches the industry and also aligns with what students want to do. You will more often see a lot of the so-called engineers transitioning into literature at a later point in life. A lot of them. Yes. A lot of engineers, no, I'm talking about after 10 years, 20 years of being in the hardcore tech industry, they all find their solace in literature. So I'm very happy that you are retaining a part of literature in the curriculum because, yes, Chetan Bhagat, I think a lot of them like that. Chetan Bhagat, Amish Tripathi, recently one of my cousins, Sundaranathan, who was known for a techie.
We have a scholar here who has done a postdoc in science and now doing a doctorate in literature.
See, so you don't know what will help them when. So while it sounds like, you know, then what am I supposed to do? You will have to kind of expose them to a lot of things, but don't force them to do it because it really doesn't. It's going to waste your time and energy. If they don't want to do it, great, don't do it. You know, it's going to be like that. So think of ideas or think of ways in which you can calm down yourself and not get panicked when students don't want to do something. I wanted to mention something here. Yes. So when we do, I just want to kind of go back to resume writing. Now in placement, they always teach them that your resume has to be targeted. So when we teach them resume writing, do we teach them how to create a targeted resume? I think that will probably add a little bit of value to how we teach them. Because give them a dream, give them like a job. You're applying to this job. So create a resume for this job. Right? So as lecturers or as educators, you will have to kind of collect a list of jobs that they may be applying for and then give them those. And if it is already available in any of your, in your portals, any of the portals, then pick up something like that. Help them target the resumes because that is now, somebody who has a skill in coding plus is maybe a designer or has done some certifications on graphic designing. Now they may want to have different resumes for different jobs. So teach them those. So when you give, instead of general resume writing, make it more targeted, make it more specific to a particular job. I think that will help them understand how that will help them value the task itself instead of general resume writing. Okay. How many of you here have a LinkedIn profile? Superb. How often do you engage? How frequently? You didn't go to that end at all.
How frequent in a sense? Either for posting it or
Whatever. Engaging there.
engaging there. Yeah, at least 2 hours per day.
Anybody else? She says 2 hours a day. Once in 2 weeks. Half an hour a day. Some notification that appears. So when we have to teach our students LinkedIn or creating a LinkedIn profile, when we are not regular on it, or when we have not explored opportunities on LinkedIn, how are we going to do it? Because more often you will see students know a lot more about certain technologies that we don't. So if you are going to teach them at any point, you will have to become comfortable with it. You don't have to ace it. You will still have things that you want to learn, but engage with a platform that you are going to teach so that you become comfortable, you're able to troubleshoot, or you at least know the benefits of it. I have been on LinkedIn for about 4 years now. I've taken a break from it. I thought it was just consuming a lot of my time. But the benefits I have had through engagement with LinkedIn is the reason for my break now. Because there is a lot of work that comes my way because of my LinkedIn profile. There's a lot of engagement or discussion that happens because of that. And there are times I felt myself get entangled with too many opportunities. It's sometimes very overwhelming. So I'm on a break, which means I don't post anything, I don't go and like anyone's, but I am there. So sometimes being there or just kind of catching up with what is happening is also important to engage with a particular platform. So if you are ever, if you are ever going to teach how to use LinkedIn or creating a profile, of course there are lots of videos, but I would encourage you to watch Archana Shekhar's interview with Gopinath. Please go and watch that for you to get an idea about what you can do with the platform. Because that is a platform. So when you understand, it becomes easy for you to explain to your students or tell them, because you will have your students, ma'am, there's so much social media, I don't even want to get another one. I'd rather get jobs on Insta, I will try and find my way through Insta. The difference is that Insta is more personal, it's more, you have many things happening there, whereas LinkedIn is more of a professional area. It's like an office space, a large global office space. So understand the what, the why and the how of LinkedIn itself so that you are able to help your students with that. Connections are important. Networking you can actually do in real-time. Networking happens through LinkedIn. You can look at how many people looked at your profile. You can look at those impressions. Impressions are basically, people responding or people just looking at your post. So all of these capture and are part of analytics. Now, you may not know all the analytics that happens, but the advantage is that you have traffic flowing through I remember some post that I probably put in March still has viewers because LinkedIn has a way of throwing back analytics. as educators, you also have an opportunity to contribute to global knowledge. So you can write short articles that are not more than 750 characters. So you could put your experiences, you could put your thoughts there. When you do that, you earn what is called a voice badge for a certain topic, which means then you become identified as an expert in that. Now, all of you have a lot of information about how engineering students respond to certain things, activities. So there are different forums where you can post articles. You can be part of articles and discussions. So if at all you kind of think it is important for you to spend some time on LinkedIn, do this. You still have a lot of, people dancing, dogs and cats, cute ones. All of this is there. But when you get into those articles and when you look up things like that, then there is more purposeful engagement that happens. Encourage your students also to do it. This may be a little old-fashioned, but I still think a Facebook private group is a very good way of helping students post. It's a very safe zone where they can post, learn how to find their way through social media. You don't really have to teach it to the natives, but for people that are scared to post something, create a safe zone with a Facebook private group. That is a very good way to experiment. As people engaging with LinkedIn also learn how posts in LinkedIn function. You don't write long articles in LinkedIn. I hope all of you know that. Your first liner needs to be catchy, and then you intersperse. It took me a while to adapt, because I had one of these branding guys tell me, "Ma'am, you have a lot of good content, but then you write long, boring articles. Please make them more interesting." So I said, "How? Put some pictures here and there." I said, "Pictures? What pictures?" He said, "Smiley one, so yeah, emojis, all of that." So the transition may be a little difficult for those of you who love writing, but then LinkedIn follows a particular style of writing. So you may want to adapt to that. The long articles go to either blogs or Facebook. So teach them these transitions as you're teaching writing, like you have academic writing, like you have technical writing. Writing for different social media is also something that you may want students to learn. So when it is LinkedIn, it's a whole package like that, so it's not just with creating profiles. You may want to if we were to look at it as a portfolio-based assessment, doesn't stop with creating a profile. It has to also have components of how they made a connection. What did they learn from that connection? How did they make that connection? Did they put a post? How many people reacted to it? If nobody reacted, then you may want to see how to promote that or rewrite. So when different components of career communication may need to have different things. So it is not just, that is why I said it's not that one worksheet or that one thing, it's creating that brand identity. So taking them to create that brand identity will require you to explore any of those profiles. I think most students are very comfortable with Insta, because that is the minimum where you have to do minimum writing. Actually, no writing required. It's more of posts and music and all of that, or the memes. So when we are looking at professional platforms, these are probably things that we need to look at. So if you have LinkedIn as one of the requirements, then make it a portfolio-based. If you're looking at it as a portfolio-based assessment, again, think of how you would use the COPE cycle of making them explore, come back, reflect, all of that. Okay. A lot of times when it comes to, I think, engaging with students and we look at faculty feedback, it's not to just correct. Sometimes it's just to ask a question. This is exactly how a spiritual guru would function. If any of you have been to a spiritual guru, you go with 10 questions, they'll send you back with 20 questions. Why is it like this? Why do you think it is like that? What is it that you see? See, it may be a very difficult stance to take, but you will see how you are promoting learner autonomy with that. They start thinking about why something is like that. So we've already killed curiosity in the school. It is difficult to fire it up all, but then it is at least worth making an attempt to see how students can think with curiosity. Right? They may not ask you basic questions, but they may be able to kind of explore with more. So don't correct or don't give them answers, give them questions to work on. Reflection is a very, very important part of learning. Unless students reflect, I think, the essence of learning is not complete. So have students reflect. I remember when I did some work with National Geographic, one of the components we had to do is for students to tell us what they can do and what they can't do. So this was a grade 2 student who said, for me, I think the problem I have is to understand if people speak long sentences. I can understand short sentence. Now, this is a very, very crucial learning that the child has cracked in grade 2, because then, you understand what you don't know. So, KWL charts are great to use. What I know, what I want to learn, and what I learned, the KWL charts. So this will be great for engineering students as well, because then they know they can. That's again another, that can again go into your portfolio-based assessment, where at every stage you ask them, what is it that you know? What is it that you want to learn? What is it that you have learned? The KWL. So that will be a great point for you to start off with your portfolio-based assessment. The revisions, I think all of you already do. So so when we have to look at a portfolio-based assessment task, we kind of here and there discussed a lot, just to kind of put a checklist kind of a thing to you. Look for tasks that are authentic. Resume writing is authentic, but it becomes more authentic when you give a job to it. It becomes more real time. Again, role plays are authentic, but if the role play is again directed to a problem solving and you give them the language for it, it becomes more achievable for the students. Or if you're doing some report writing, give them a scenario, give them all the details they need to know for the report writing. So that all tasks, then they may not ask the question, is this really useful? Why should I do it? All of these questions they won't ask. Again, for the student, it is important for them to know the purpose of the activity. As trainers, we always do, okay, today you're going to learn this. This is why we are teaching you this. If you've been a trainer, you know how you do it. As teachers, we kind of don't let the students know why they're learning something. So it is perhaps helpful to tell them that this is the purpose and this is what it will translate into. Sometimes when they know this is what it's going to translate into, they will. If you tell them to participate in a group discussion, they may not. Tell them group discussion is an elimination round in the interview process. So you really need to know how to talk. Likelihood of participation will go by 20%. Let's not be very ambitious. We'll go up by 20%. And then when you start kind of saying, okay, you are out because you spoke too much. You are out because you dominated. You are out because you didn't even say a word. You are out because you always said, oh, that is what I thought of, but she said it. Right? So when you do that, students get an idea of how these rejections are done. So when we do a group discussion, that debrief to the group discussion is very important of why it is done and what can happen if that participation is not in the right quotient in a group discussion. Okay, so for the evidence of progress, we may, like I already said, a resume can have that evidence. Speaking tasks, again, you may have a reflection that is linked to the progress. So KWL charts will definitely help us. For speaking tasks, I think we can give them a KWL so that we are also able to kind of look at their progress. Again, I'm sure you have a feedback mechanism, but the feedback mechanism should be a debrief to the task, so that they know this is wrong, it is wrong because, and it can have these implications, like that. So that is the debrief that we need to give our students. And finally, reflection as a component. KWL is a reflection, but additionally, if you want them to reflect on any task, how did you figure out how to do this kind of a thing? So you learned this, but how did you learn it? A KWL will say, I learned this, but how did you learn? Will be the reflection part of it. So for me, I think I find it easier to remember things when they are as acronyms, whether it is speaking frameworks that I was talking to some of you about, or whether it is anything. If it's an acronym, then I tend to remember better. So I also share these. So remember, for your career communication and portfolio-based management, think of it as a growth framework, where the growth of the student is important, from where they are to where they want to be or where you want to take them. Where you want to take them depends on your understanding of the opportunities. So please engage in discussions with people that recruit, people in the industry, so that you're able to help them better. Reflection is a very, very important part of learning process. Ownership to be taken by the student, where we guide them to learner autonomy, because if they don't want to take responsibility, there is no way we can help. Because God also helps only those who help themselves. Okay? Workplace relevance, again, translating it to how it will help them in the workplace. What is that transformation they see in themselves? What is it that you see in them? Both these point of views matter. You may also add a peer feedback in saying, what is it that you see in your friend or this person? All of these, what the corporate industry calls the 360-degree point of view for everything. So that may be helpful. And as we are teaching career communication, we are again looking at holistic development. We're looking at that personal branding that students can build. We're looking at helping them wade through careers. Today, career is not a job. Career is a path. I mean, it's always been that path. But today, transitions happen. 10 years, somebody, or 15 years of their life, somebody was an IT professional, and then their career suddenly took a turn into stand-up comedy. You actually see people like that, right? So these career transitions are possible. So we will prepare our students to be prepared for any transition that they may take. Because today AI is taking up a lot of jobs. It's also giving a lot of opportunities. So with that in mind, thank you so much for the opportunity. Thank you for participating in discussions and sharing what your classroom experiences are. Thank you. This is one way you can reach out to me on LinkedIn. This is my LinkedIn profile. So I hope to connect to a lot of people. Thank you.
Just one doubt.
Yes.
Ma'am, when we are speaking so much about resume writing, so of late there is something called ATS friendly resume, and when I taught my son how to write a resume in his pre-final year, and he took it and went for the placement, and he came back and he said, "Ma, this is not going to work out." So it has to be formatted as ATS friendly resume. Then it is like, I just Googled up to find out what is ATS friendly, and it is like application tracking system that is a recently developed resume format, it seems. I think while teaching resume, if we concentrate on that also.
See, that is what I said, where you make it more authentic by giving the either the job or these. Now, not everybody.
Yeah, practically this is working out, yes, for the.
Not all, as in the industry, certain universities definitely follow the ATS.
Yes.
There are others who go for. That is why, see, a resume is definitely different for different jobs. Yes, for many applications, yes. So when you go for job fairs, you will use the ATS. When you're going through the grapevine, you may not want to use the ATS. See, most, especially mid-level hiring happens through grapevine.
Okay.
So those things you may not require.
Yeah. For SRM students, I think this required, like most of the companies that are. Yeah.
So wherever there is mass recruitment happening, you will have the ATS. So when they go for a job fair, when they sit for placements at the university, when they go for placements in another college,
College,
all
yes.
of this they will require the ATS.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Any other questions?
Do you have any questions? Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am, for such a detail-oriented presentation, reflecting everything that's embedded through the very focused theme of today's event, which is Indian knowledge systems and academia and industrial collaboration, everything that falls in between. We would like to now carry out for tea break, a short break. Please reassemble by 3:45 p.m. Thank you.
56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, Ramya 62, 63, 64, 65, 66. Oh, fantastic. 66. Count on it. So 66 of us are here. Okay. 67. 67. Yes, so once again, a very good evening to everybody present here and also to the dear colleagues at NCR campus who are attending this FTP via online. So what did you learn in the morning? What happened in the morning session? Let's have a small recap. Very important. Traditional method of teaching, okay. Then 6 hours you're here. Okay, 1 hour lunch. So it's almost 5 hours we're all here. Now tell me, how do we put it together? 5 hours of listening. How much have I retained? Morning, so I was telling 7 minutes, 7 seconds or 7 minutes. Seconds, 7 seconds. So I'm wondering at this time, what is your retention? So, yes, tell me, quickly. We need to connect academia, industry, and language, okay? Then? I want 66 answers, guys. Plus, if NCR campus also believe, please add your answers on the WhatsApp group. Okay. Yes, tell me. Yes, language is not a skill, it's thought. It's more than skill. That's exactly what the line conveys to you. We shouldn't limit it to just it just being a skill. It is more, much more than that. It has to be in the blood, in the nerves. That's thought. Yes. So 3, yes, you said something?
English is not communication.
Knowing language is not communication, yes. Okay, right. So 3 points only. Now 63 more. 63 plus 10 more, around 73. Careful ethical use of AI, okay. Great. Thank you very much. Number 6, 7. Traditional?
Teaching with technology.
Teaching with technology. Okay, 8. Expectation of industries from the students, the graduates from our university. Okay, that's 9. Yes. Still, we're very far away. Very far away. You don't want to catch up. 1. Sorry. I want 66 different people, not one person answering 10. Personalizing tasks for the students, 10. Come on, 11th one. 11th. Be a facilitator than a teacher. Okay, 12. Yes.
Exactly.
Fantastic. That's actually the takeaway. Good. Let us close the FTP. So thank you. 13. Again, 14. Come on. Yes. Thank you. You want to make? To go beyond but and lack. Okay. 14. One person, one chance. Yes. It's already been said. Yes. Okay. Semantics and pragmatics. Good. 16. Pardon? Now what in that?
Communication, language, communication.
To be taught to the students. How to handle LinkedIn. Okay, right. So 18. Then.
Teachers are responsibility doesn't stop in the first year. We have to keep track of the students giving the presentation and how they come out of their degree. So all the books we have to engage with them.
Oh my God, yeah, it's not over in one sem, okay? So, fantastic. Designing tasks based on the student's capability. Yes, very good. Thank you. 20. 21. Confidence.
English is the best word for escaping. This is the best for explanation.
Okay. Gray one, huh? With matter. So English is not a class to escape things, but to explain, to explore. Oh, that's a better word, yeah. Explore. Yes, thank you. 21.
More than completing the syllabus, we have to focus on what the Gen Z students need right now.
Yeah, you'll have to rephrase it because it will send a different message. Yes, but 22. But yes, I think all of us understand what she means. Yes, 23. Yes, impediments or connecting our whatever we teach to the requirements of the industry, in that the hurdles that are faced by students or the faculty in the sense. Yes, 24. Realization about learning. Learning ends in acquisition of language. So as we acquire language, we have to clarify with what are the learning ends, the end points, the outcomes. Yes, realizing the importance of outcomes. So please, by heart, the first page of your syllabus, the first part. How many of you read that? Sorry, Radhika, 1 minute. Is it one page? Do you all have this? Hey, folded. You know, after the semester, I want all these things back, okay? So please, it's safe. Please have it safe. It's a reference material. Paste it in front of you. Yes, how many of you read this? You all read it? Yes. Fantastic. How many of you understood it? I'm talking of the first part. See, I was talking about when ma'am said she's talking about outcomes. You know, where are outcomes written in your syllabus? Where is it written? Course learning outcomes, CLOs. CLO, PO, CO, these are all not just the rationals. It's not just for accreditation purpose. It's for all of us. It's for teachers to understand, why am I standing here in this class? Will my class get these things at the end of my session? So we break the outcomes into different modules. Every sessions are planned. So ultimately, after how many hours of English session we have, or foreign language for that matter? 60. So at the end of the 60 sessions, do we reach all these 5 outcomes? That should be your first. Yes. So whenever you build your lesson plans or your classes, it has to be based on outcomes. Are these coming? So nobody need to ask you, do you know this here? Do you know your peers? It's not required. So once we know this, we plan it accordingly, and we know the COs or the POs or for the CLOs. Yes, so that was 26th answer. 27th. Understanding the difficulty, putting yourself in the place of students, and then planning your sessions, whether it's 50 minutes or 1 hour or 2 hour session. Good. Yes, thank you. Right. 27. Still we have not reached half my mark. Yes. not there to correct. That's what somebody said, facilitating. Thank you. 30, peer observation among the students. 31, encouraging, yes.
The student understand and help them present it in the
Again.
make the student understand and then
Fantastic. Can anybody translate what Ms. Bhuvana said?
WhatsApp group by Rakesh Kumar. It says reverse teaching method. There's one in the WhatsApp group from NCR team by Mr. Rakesh Kumar. It says reverse teaching method.
Reverse teaching method. Okay. How many of you remember this reverse teaching? Who told about this? What is reverse teaching? Bringing in the traditional way wherever we are there now, taking a step back or maybe 20 steps back, seeing what was done earlier, see how it can be implemented or it will be useful for us and then for the students and us, and then go ahead. Thank you, Mr. Rajesh. So that's 33. Growth framework. What are the different, facets in the growth framework? What is the growth framework? What is a growth framework? Why do we need a growth framework? Yes, reflecting. Introspection, okay. Ownership. Okay, sorry, 1 minute, Radhika, sorry. Okay. I know you got this some time back, so I know that you wouldn't have checked everything. Okay. So, do you see the back? Whenever we buy a book, we always go to the jacket of the book and read and then understand. What is it written here? I hear and I forget. I see, I remember. I do and I understand. So these three are, we have been listening or hearing and practicing this from a long time. Since I think from my school days, I've been listening to this. I see, I understand. So please do. Doing is understanding. We learn by doing. The last line. I explore, reflect, and there was one word which is missing, and thus I learn. This line was added by me to this quotation because I thought this was quite relevant to the whole syllabus and the PBL thing. So I explore, reflect, thus I learn. Fantastic. Now what we are going to do is in the group there are 3 poems there shared. You seen the 3 poems? How many of you have read? Okay, before we get into this, how many of you read at least one of the novels that has been passed on to you? Fantastic. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. From 66? Okay, 66 maybe with the foreign language, but let us take 50, 55. Which novel have you read first? Which one did you? Sister as a Serial Killer. How many of you read that? Sister as a Serial Killer. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just 5? Okay. How many of you read White Tiger? 3, 4. Guys, what have you been doing 3-4 weeks? And it's just easy read. You don't have to really go into, okay, I agree, Amitav Ghosh's derangement is you require dictionaries or you have to, reference points, you have to get reference to understand. I understand. But what about White Tiger? The moment you get books, you should read. That's exactly the point of pre-working syllabus. So please read White Tiger. You will enjoy in the sense enjoying existentialism crisis, okay? So please read that. You should, I think every Indian should have read White Tiger. It's language. You need not be an English teacher to read it. Anybody, any human being should have read White Tiger. It really hits you very hard. So please read it. And none of these are difficult. Okay, derangement also one chapter only is taken, which is hardly 40 pages or around, which also I read during the vacation. So it's not difficult. Please go through these these books and read it before you enter the class. It gives you a lot of, see, we are talking of confidence for learners, this confidence for teachers. You can stand in any place, anything, anytime students ask, you can answer it. So please make it a point, you read all these. It will hardly take you maybe 30 days if you want to finish all these. And all others are short stories and poems. So please promise yourselves that you will read these before you, at least by the end of August. So that's one thing. Okay, now take the poems out. All of you take it? Yes? All of you have the poems with you? Yes. Okay. Now, Poison Tree. So please volunteer. I need volunteers to tell numbers 1 to 6 quickly. 1 to 6 volunteers. Quickly. 5, please come. Come, please come. So 1, 5. 3, please come. Please don't sit happily. 7 to 12, the next set. 2, okay. Yes. Inge vandirunga, please. Sit together. See, it is just, I'm just regrouping yourself because from morning, though you're sitting for 8 hours, not 8 hours, still I can see all of you sitting in your own groups, which is disheartening. You know, the workshop is planned so that we interact. And this is happening for the first time that all campus English faculty is here at one place. But still I see all of you, clinging to your groups. Nobody should break. What? No. Where are you sitting? That's exactly the point of workshop. Yes. So I want all of you to please get up and mix yourself and make groups of 6. 1, 2, 3. The first group can be here. Srinivasan. Yes, please, I request all of you to please remove the chairs, get up, and please make groups who are not in your regular groups. Please, yes. Quickly, just 5 minutes for that, 5 minutes. I'm encouraging my staff. Yeah, please. 5? 3. No. 1, 2, 6. One more person. 6 people. 6. Sundar, come. Please come. So 6 of you. Sundar sir, please come. 6. ரொம்ப பயப்படுறாரு வெறும் ஃபீமேல் கூப்பிடுங்க சரி choose a novel and just come out with some idea. Sit. Choose novel illa poems, one of the 3 poems. Guys, here, what happened? Break, come out. Please get up, come here. Come, sit here. Poonam, sit here. Come sit. Ranga, come here. No, same guy, guide. Come this side. No, come here. Ranga, come this side, here, sit. From the same campus? I'm connected to probably most of them. Sit. That's okay. Come there. You're from? நீங்க ரெண்டு பேரும் ராமபுரம் தானே? Come, please come. Guys, get up. Okay, Eril, Ruchi illa. Come, get up. Come this side. Inge vaanga. Come this side. Guys, you will not have this opportunity. Come on, please. Trichy. KTR, Ramapuram, Vadapalani. Good, fantastic. Choose, guys, those who are into the groups, please choose one poem and give me a very new idea from that poem. First thing each one of you have to do is, from the groups, from the groups, I want one person, 3 readings of the poem. I want all of you to have the mics in your hand and read the poem loud. 3 of you. From each group, we need to do this quickly, otherwise we'll get late. And we are not leaving without finishing the task, okay? Please don't look at your bags or watch or mobile. Yes. All foreign language, huh? Friends. Yeah, come here. Yeah, sit. Sulagna. Come. This side. Okay, Linton is there. Sit. I'm sorry. Sit. Okay, certainly. Inge ukara. Priya, sit. Answer, Sulagna. Separate. Come here, Sulagna. Come. Is it a group within a group? Okay, sit here. Saumya and Sulagna, sit here. More than 6, is it over? It's okay. Yes, have you chosen your poems? Which group are you? This is group 1, group 2. Sorry, ma'am. Group 1, group 2. Which is your group? Group 3? 3, 4, 5, 6. Sebastian sir, varekku inge. Caleb, you're part of this group, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4. This is 4. You're in this part. 4, 5. 5, group 5. Sorry, 6. Sorry, sir. 6, 7, 8, 9, 8. 8, 9, 10, 11. Monica, 11. Okay. Yes. We need all of them to read it loud first. Yes. Read it aloud. Which group have you all chosen the poems? Yes? We are doing resume. Group 1? Okay. Which one are you? Poison tree. Okay. Who's reading loud? Guys, I want all of you to listen to the poem. Can I have your attention, please? So let's have instructions first, then you start with your poems. So first, we only have 3 poems and we have almost 11 groups. So there'll be repetitions, don't worry. But I want each group to first read it thrice, the poem that you've chosen, loud and clear. Okay, and then we'll start with the discussions. We're not leaving without finishing this task. Yes, please.
We do it for 3 times now?
3 different people.
Okay. The same poem?
Same.
Okay. May I begin, ma'am?
Yes.
A Poison Tree by William Blake. I was angry with my friend. I told my wrath. My wrath did end. I was angry with my foe. I told it not. My wrath did grow. And I watered it in fears, night and morning with my tears. And I sunned it with smiles and with soft, deceitful wiles. And it grew both day and night till it bore an apple bright. And my foe beheld it shine, and he knew that it was mine. And into my garden stole when the night had veiled the pole. In the morning glad I see my foe outstretched beneath the tree.
What's your name? Suhail. That was Suhail from Vadapalani campus. Yes, thank you very much. Which other group has chosen Poison Tree? One loud reading. Listen. When we ask our students to listen, please do that now. Please listen. Yes.
A poison tree. I was angry with my friend. I told my wrath. My wrath did end. I was angry with my foe. I told it not. My wrath did grow. And I watered it in fears, night and morning with my tears. And I sunned it with smiles and with soft, delightful wiles. And it grew both day and night till it bore an apple bright.
and my foe beheld its shine, and he knew that it was mine. And into my garden stole, when the night had veiled the pole. In the morning glad I see my foe outstretched beneath the tree.
Beautiful poem. Yes, who else has taken this poem? It's coming to you. Sorry, the group in NCR campus, please choose one of your poem and the task, you can do the task, okay? So we'll do it. We'll come to you. Yes. Please introduce yourself and then.
Yeah. Good evening, everyone. I'm Afrin, assistant professor from Ramapuram campus. So, poison tree. I was angry with my friend. I told my wrath. My wrath did end. I was angry with my foe. I told it not. My wrath did grow. And I watered it in fears, night and morning with my tears. And I stunned it with my smiles, and with soft deceitful wiles. And it grew both day and night, till I bore an apple bright. And my foe beheld it shine, and he knew that it was mine. And into my garden stole, when the night had wheeled the pole. In the morning glad I see my foe outstretched beneath the tree.
Yes, who's reading from there?
I was angry. Poem. A Poison Tree by William Blake. Okay. I was angry with my friend. Well, I am Dr. Sundar Singh, Faculty of English at SRMIST, Department of LCS, Language, Culture and Society. I was angry with my friend. I told my wrath did end. I was angry with my foe. I told it not. My wrath did grow. And I watered it in fears, night and morning with my tears. And I sunned it with smiles, and with soft, deceitful wiles. And it grew both day and night, till it bore an apple bright. And my foe beheld it shine, and he knew that it was mine. And into my garden stole, when the night bad wild the pole. In the morning glad I see my foe outstretched beneath the tree.
Yes. Which other group? Poison Tree? Wow.
Poison Tree.
Take us.
So I am Dr. Horizon. I was angry with my friend. I told my wrath. My wrath did end. I was angry with my foe. I told it not. My wrath did grow. And I watered it in fears, night and morning with my tears. And I sunned it with smiles and with soft, deceitful wiles. And it grew both day and night, till it bore an apple bright. And my foe beheld it shine, and he knew that it was mine. And into my garden stole, when the night had veiled the pole. In the morning glad I see my foe outstretched beneath the tree.
Thank you, sir. Who else has taken this poem? Is there any other group? You're also? What happened? We have given 3 poems. Now 6 groups have given.
No, you read it. Me, huh? Yeah.
Good evening, everybody. This is Dr. Devsena from Ramapuram campus. So I'm here to read Poison Tree by William Blake. I was angry with my friend. I told my wrath did end. I was angry with my foe. I told it not. My wrath did not grow. And I watered it in fears, night and morning with my tears. And I stunned it with smiles and with soft, deceitful wiles. And it growed both day and night, till it bore an apple bright. And my foe beheld it shine, and he knew that it was mine. And into my garden stole, when the night had wheeled the pole. In the morning glad I see, my foe outstretched beneath the tree.
Introduce yourself.
I'm Dr. Devsena from Ramapuram campus.
Thank you. Yes. Is there any other group with Poison Tree? So seven groups out of 11 taking Poison Tree. Look at oh my God, I think this is the most famous poem.
Already studied, ma'am, so it is easy, ma'am.
No, but this poem is really heavy. I'm happy you've taken. Yes.
You want the parent?
Okay. This is Dr. Ramya from KTR campus. Our team has chosen this poem, Writing a Resume by Wislava Szymborska. Writing a resume, what needs to be done? Fill out the application and enclose the resume. Regardless of the length of life, a resume is best kept short. Concise, well-chosen facts are de rigueur. Landscapes are replaced by addresses. Shaky memories give way to unshakable dates. Of all your loves, mention only the marriage. Of all your children, only those who were born. Who knows you count more than who you know? Trips only if taken abroad. Memberships in what but without why. Honors but not how they were earned. Write as if you had never talked to yourself and always kept yourself at arm's length. Pass over in silence your dogs, cats, birds, dusty keepsakes, friends and dreams. Price not worth and title not what's inside. His shoe size not where he is off to, that one you pass yourself off as. In addition, a photograph with 1 year showing. What matters is its shape, not what it hears. What is there to hear anyway? The clatter of paper shredders.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes. Yes. Your team?
Yeah, good evening, everybody. This is Dr. Sumati from SRM KTR campus. I'm reading this resume by Wislava Szymborska. Writing a resume, what needs to be done? Fill out the application and enclose a resume. Regardless of the length of life, a resume is best kept short. Concise, well-chosen facts are de rigueur. Landscapes are replaced by addresses. Shaky memories give way to unshakable dates. Of all your loves, mention only the marriage. Of all your children, only those who were born. Who knows? You counts more than who you know. Trips only if taken abroad. Membership in what? But without why. Honors? But not how they were earned. Write as if you were never talked to yourself and always kept yourself at arm's length. Pass over in silence your dogs, cats, birds, dusty keepsakes, friends and dreams. Price not worth, and the title not what's inside. His shoe size, not where he is off to. That one you pass yourself off as. In addition, a photograph with 1 year showing. What matters is its shape, not what it hears. What is there to hear anyway? The clatter of paper shredders. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Just one more reading. Sorry, 3 more readings. Rest. Carry on. Introduce yourself and then.
Good evening, everyone. This is Jasmine, and I will. This is Jasmine, and I'm from SRM KTR. So I will be reading Writing a Resume by Wislava Szymborska. So writing a resume, what needs to be done? Fill out the application and enclose a resume. Regardless of the length of life, a resume is best kept short. Concise, well-chosen facts are de rigueur. Landscapes are replaced by addresses. Shaky memories give way to unshakable dates. Of all your loves, mention only the marriage. Of all your children, only those who were born. Who knows you counts more than who you know. Trips only if taken abroad. Memberships in what but without why. Honors but not how they were earned. Write as if you'd never talked to yourself and always kept yourself at arm's length. Pass over in silence your dogs, cats, birds, dusty keepsakes, friends and dreams. Price, not worth, and title, not what's inside. His shoe size, not where he's off to, that one you pass yourself off as. In addition, a photograph with 1 year showing. What matters is its shape, not what it hears. What is there to hear anyway? The clatter of paper shredders. Thank you.
Yes. Yes. Fantastic. I was thinking, why nobody's taking
Yes, good afternoon, everyone. This is Dr. Sulagna Mohanty from KTR campus. Yes. Am I audible? Just like, yes. Shall I stand here, ma'am? Shall I? An introduction by Kamala Das. I don't know politics, but I know the names of those in power and can repeat them like days of week or names of months beginning with Nehru. I am Indian, very brown, born in Malabar. I speak 3 languages, write in 2, dream in 1. Don't write in English, they said. English is not your mother tongue. Why not leave me alone, critics, friends, visiting cousins, every one of you? Why not let me speak in any language I like? The language I speak becomes mine, its distortions, its squareness, all mine, mine alone. It is half English, half Indian, funny perhaps, but it is honest. It is as human as I am human. Don't you see? It voices my joys, my longings, my hopes, and it is useful to me as cawing is to crows or roaring to the lions. It is human speech, the speech of the mind that is here and not there. A mind that sees and hears and is aware. Not the deaf, blind speech of trees in storm of streets in storm or of monsoon clouds or of rain or the incoherent mutterings of the blazing funeral pyre. I was child and later they told me I grew. For I became tall, my limbs swelled and 1 or 2 places sprouted hair. When I asked for love, not knowing what else to ask for, he drew a youth of 16 into the bedroom and closed the door. He did not beat me, but my sad woman body felt so bitten. The weight of my breasts and womb crushed me. I shrank pitifully. Then I wore a shirt and my brother's trousers, cut my hair short and ignored my womanliness. Dress in saris, be girl, be wife, they said. Be embroiderer, be cook, be a quarreler with servants, fit in, oh, belong. Cried the categorizers, don't sit on walls or peep in through our less drapes windows. Be Amy or be Kamala or better still be Madhavi Kutti. It is time to choose a name, a role. Don't play pretending games. Don't play at schizophrenia or be a nympho. Don't cry embarrassingly loud when jilted in love. I met a man, loved him. Call him not by any name. He is every man who wants a woman. Just as I am every woman who seeks love. In him, the hungry haste of rivers. In me, the ocean starless waiting. Who are you? I ask each and every one. The answer is, it is I. Anywhere and everywhere, I see the one who calls himself I. In this world, he is tightly packed like the sword in its sheath. It is I who drink lonely drinks at 12 midnight in hotels of strange towns. It is I who laugh. It is I who make love and then feel shame. It is I who lie dying with a rattle in my throat. I am sinner. I am saint. I am the beloved and the betrayed. I have no joys that are not yours, no acts which are not yours. I too call myself I. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Joan Linton, Dr. Joan Linton, German assistant professor. Writing a resume, what needs to be done? Fill out the application and enclose a resume. Regardless of length of life, a resume is best kept short. Concise, well-chosen facts are the rigueur. Landscapes are replaced by addresses. Shaky memories give way to unshakable dates. Of all your loves, mention only the marriage. Of all your children, only those who were born. Who knows you counts more than who you know. Trips only if taken abroad. Memberships in what, but without why. Honors, but not how they were earned. Write as if you have never talked to yourself and always kept yourself at arm's length. Pass over in silence your dog, cats, birds, dusky keepsakes, friends and dreams. Price not worth the untitled, not what is inside. His shoe size, not where he is off to. That one you pass yourself off as. In addition, a photograph with 1 year showing. What matters is its shape, not what it hears. What is there to hear anyway? The clatter of paper sheds. Thank you.
So the author has his or her intention, what they have said, what they have left unsaid. Unsaid. That is very important, and why? Yes. Yes. So what is unsaid and what is said? Quickly. For that you have to read, you have to discuss, you have to analyze the vocabulary. Please do that quickly. And we stop in 10 minutes. And since the whole day it was about communication, I would like you to, in that aspect. 4 minutes gone, huh? அச்சச்சோ. Yes, நான் முன்னாடி தான் Four minutes. இங்க எப்படி வந்தீங்க? What is something new that you've seen in the poem, which is not discussed, which could have been? And I also need a reason why poison tree 7 people have taken, 7 groups. Small, just that. But doesn't it connect more? No, every poem connects, not that, but then this is something very human. Any group which is done? You done? Okay. Sunil, keep passing it, huh? I'll be here.
Go ahead.
Sorry, ma'am. Should I turn? Please, we have finished reading. I don't know if we are right about the interpretation or not. I want everybody to please pay attention and give a take on it. So we have done the reading on The Poison Tree by William Blake. So what we have observed is they have spoken about the anger issues, they have spoken about hatred, they have spoken about killing a friend. We actually interpreted the tree and the apple to the Garden of Eden. How the apple is being disguised as the poison apple, which indeed or in fact killed the friend. So the thing is, they have spoken a lot about anger and stuff. But what is not being discussed in the poem is about what is hidden. So we can imagine, it can be an allegorical reference where we can imagine the poem to be the mind. And when we have the emotions hidden inside us, it leads to a lot of misinterpretations and pent up feelings, depressions. So when something is being suppressed and when we do not communicate, the lack of communication in a relationship or anything that matters, communication is important. So when we do not know how to communicate, it leads to a lot of miscommunication. So this is what we actually have interpreted. Thank you.
The miscommunication kills the thread?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Devasena. Yes. And as I have already mentioned the whole day when we started that the sessions, the 2-day workshop, was, it is not about whether you're correct or not. Please just don't look at anybody's face. Just talk what you have interpreted or what you want to say. Okay? Thank you.
I'm going to interpret the poem Resume. The resume highlights one.
You know, the minimum etiquette before you start speaking is first get the house in order. Anybody who comes to speak, please get the house in order first. Then you start. Otherwise, what is the use of talking if nobody listening? Okay? So, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. I'm Dr. Shalini from Ramapuram campus. The topic for today is resume. The poem speaks about the highlights, the resume highlights only the dates rather than one's feelings and memories. And it also discusses about feelings over achievements. What we achieve only speaks, and it will not speak about the feelings or else the memories or the pathway, what made us to me, what made me to stand here to speak in before you all. Rather than my feelings, my achievements will speak here. And I wish to enclose the facts that are not discussed in the poem here. It's feelings over achievements, and the author was never employed because she could hear the sound of the shredder machine, which is crashing the thing. So it means that it's, obviously the resume is rejected. That is the reason she could hear the voice of the noise of the shredder machine. And academic qualification is not measured. Everything is like dates, facts, that's all. But there is no place or platform for the feelings or the memories that we have hold it for us to be here. That's it.
Thank you, Shalini. Yes, the next group. Quickly, yes. What's it?
Yes. Excuse me. Ma'am said we must get the attention of everybody. Okay, so our team also had chose the poem A Poison Tree. The surface level meaning of that poem is honest communication is healthier than resentment. You have to have an open communication. That's a surface level meaning. And we have come up with 4 different levels of meaning as a group discussion, I'll say. Point number 1 or one perspective is said by Dr. Michael. Dystopian. He found that poem to be dystopian as power centers and policy makers or like my poison tree, they don't listen to us. They keep ignoring our emotions or our true requests, and it becomes or it ends into something that destroys us. So that is one connotation. And number 2 is we have connected Afreen ma'am. This was said by Madam Afreen from Ramapuram campus, and she saw the connection of this poem with nature. So we must also have an open communication with nature. Even if you are growing a plant, talking with the plant will help it grow well. And if we don't take care of the plants or ignore it also, it would same way taking care of environmental issues, we must pay way to taking care of our globe, and all those things will come into it. This is second connotation. Third connotation said by me, and I see a connection to the human relationship. So even to our students or teachers, when we keep watering them with good words, their good things will grow and bad things will gradually disseminate, or it will get diminished in the course of time. So it can be related to human relationship. How we water our relationship matters. So if we water it with good words, we will evolve into a good person. If we water it with poisonous words or hatred or something discouraging, then students will lose their confidence. Last, fourth connotation by Madam Aishwarya, from a new faculty from our department, KTR campus. She relates it with illness. So some illness, if it is there in our body, if we keep ignoring it and if we stop listening to it, day by day it grows like a poison tree, and it may lead to death or something. So we must pay attention to the illness or whatever language our body also speaks. So these are the four different connotations we have come up with the poem Poison Tree. Thank you.
Thank you, Alice. On public demand, looking at the time, I will have one last group doing that, which I think can be the introduction. Because we have done resume, poison tree, and then introduction. Pannangla. First.
Good evening, everyone. I'll just be precise since this is a lengthy introduction by Kamala Das. This is the best example. Ma'am asked about what is said and what is unsaid. There's nothing unsaid in this poem. I hope most of you would have read this poem. It's about how one should introduce all these, whether it is people consider as strength or weakness, let it be. If I have all the weakness, that's me. And this is the best example. We have to teach the students how to introduce oneself to others, not to hide anything. Let the society judge. I am no need to be conventional. Let us break the stereotype. No need to worry about it. So that's me. That's how at the end she said that I'm the sinner, I'm the saint, I'm the beloved, I'm the betrayed. Let it be. But I'm what I am. That's the introduction.
Thank you. Thank you. So, all the three poems have something about strategic communication, professional communication. If you go a little deeper, it is there. What is strategic? What should be? Yes. Time is now. I'm really sorry. Yes, tomorrow morning 9:30 we are here, and we'll have the other groups doing it. But then it's all about what strategically should be omitted from communication when you're talking about professional communication. Okay, so with that one line, I'm closing it. But this was not intended. What was intended was a little longer. Due to the paucity of time, it's been cut short and done like that. But we'll continue this tomorrow morning 9:30. So I'll see all of you here at 9:30 tomorrow. I'll leave it to the rest of the thing to the audience, the coordinators to convey. Thank you.
Make it brief. Thank you all for being here the entire day. You can disperse as of now, but tomorrow morning 9:30, by 9:15 if we assemble, we'll be able to have a discussion on this. I'm sure it's quite interesting. Let's open the forum for an interesting discussion tomorrow morning. So tomorrow again lunch will be served for us in Sanasi, and you'll be also having the refreshments here. So come back with a lot of enthusiasm and energy tomorrow. We have interesting sessions. So
certificates only when attended.
you are present for both the sessions tomorrow too, you will be getting your certificates. This is a gentle reminder on that. Thank you all. Thank